Welcome back, guys. Today, it's again just me in the shed here, hanging out all by my lonesome. We're going to do another set of tubs. So you saw how we did the tubs in the Valiant, which was we added a 2-inch strip. That gave us our widened tub. You saw how I've done the tubs in the Commodore, which was a full fabricated Pittsburgh tub from McDonald Bros, which actually fit really nice. Today we're going to do a welded tub. So this is as basic as you can get. You could probably go to any metalwork shop and they'll knock this up for you pretty quick. Friend and viewer of the show has supplied a cardboard template. He needs them 310mm wide, so probably about that big. He also needs probably an extra 20mm just on the front. He ran out of cardboard, doesn't matter. Also, he's labelled which way is the front of the tub, so we know which way we're going. So, he's also left meat in here. He's going to cut it out like I did on the VL. What we're going to do is we're going to get some 1.5mm sheet. We're going to mark this out, plus the extra bit. We're going to get it cut on my guillotine, which is now up and running. We're also going to cut the strips for the tub, and we're going to roll them. Might even put a bead in them for them. Just like in the Pittsburgh tubs. So stick around and take notes, because this is dead simple and you could do it at home with a grinder if you had to. So we've got our tub template. We need to know this dimension, the dimension of the radius. So this is just a really crude way of measuring it. We know we need a bit extra, which is fine. Just gonna scoot this around roughly. So we need somewhere around 1330. So I'm going to go through my pile of steel, see what material I can find, and I'm going to look for something close to that. I don't think I've got anything, but either way, we're going to cut 2 strips, 310 wide by 1330 long, which isn't going to work for my guillotine because it's only 1220 working space. So we might have to weld a little section on the front of the tub, but that doesn't matter, so let's do it. So what I found was one piece at the 365, 1220. It's good, it means we only need to cut a little bit off that one. And then the next smallest piece, 765, which is alright because we only need 300mm of it. And if we get lucky, we might be able to put a tub on the other side. It's about 460. I reckon we get 1 tub and 1 strip out of that piece, and we can do our tub out of that piece. So I'm not wasting a huge amount of material, but we're also not using a huge amount of material. So let's cut that strip first. We'll cut the strips first. We'll cut the 310 strips first, because there's not a lot involved in that. And then we'll mark out our tubs, cut them on the sheet. Let's do it. So this next bit, guys, that's our offcut from the strips we cut. Gonna sit that on there. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Perfect. Sit it right to one corner. Mark it out, find the dead spider. All the way down, like that. We know we need another 20mm there. Let's just mark 20 and give it a little bit more anyway. It's always better to have a bit extra there. That's where we need to go to. Just out of the way. Ruler. I'll just sit that back in there. So we're using that as a straight line. Pretty much there. It's roughly from there. What we'll do is we'll just put a straight line there, I think. Just like that. That just gives us something to cut to. Fill in some of those missing lines. No, it's not going to matter up there. Alright, let's go and cut it. There is pretty rough outline, guys. Clearly it's rough. This only cuts a straight line, obviously. Now, you don't need a guillotine to do this. I'm just using it because I have it available now. By all means, you can mark this, cut it with a grinder. Or you could send that off, you could get it laser cut, plasma cut, however you so desire. You could cut it with a grinder. You could probably even get a metal blade for a jigsaw and really just knack through it if you really want. Anyway, let's go and mark the second sheet and the second side of the tub. So we have a pair. And then we will refine that edge. Righto, so you should have two identical halves. Pretty close to, cut slightly different, but that's not going to matter there because all that's going to get cut around to suit the rail. That's fine. So all we're going to do now is clamp that on, clamp those two together actually, and I'm just going to sand that just till it looks nice and I'm happy with it. Clamps in the Commodore. Should be all right. That way, something like, yeah, like that, there. Yeah, should be fine. So that's it, sanded, pull the clamps off them. We've got two identical sides, I should say. All I'm going to do now is just quickly knock the burr off them from where we sanded and just generally deburr them all the way around because they are a little bit sharp. simple as that. So now, when we compare the two, they're pretty well spot on. It's upside down. And it's pretty close to our template. Looks like we've got that 20mm extra there like we wanted. Perfect, we actually got 25. So that's the sides done. So let's grab the strips now, put a bead in those, and then we will roll them to suit. Righto, let's do it. So I just measured the tubs in that Commodore, and the bead was about 75mm in from the edge. So we're going to call this edge is, say, the inner side. So this will get welded to that section. Or what we'll do, just mark a center point, 75. If you haven't got a combination square or a slide square, go and get yourself one. Very useful tool. Roughly about 75 there. Just gonna nip it back for the texture. Yep. Always make sure you do it up. And there is your straight line. Do that again. Much easier than trying to set a ruler down and mark it, shuffle the ruler, mark it, shuffle. Just use your square. Alright, let's get the bead roller out and put a bead in there. Right, so both parts are now bead rolled. You may think, oh, it's a bit of a kick in it. That's all right. I didn't want to put a full bead in here so it's flat on this side. It would have pulled too much material in, it would have been too narrow then. So all I'm going to do now, put the bead roller away, and get the rollers out. Let's go. So there you go, 2 tubs to suit whatever you want. Now obviously there's a little gap here, the tubs aren't welded on. That's all stuff that can be pulled in as it's tacked through. If you go through and tack every 50mm as you go, you'll be able to close that gap up nicely and you'll have a set of tubs. So yeah, and that's just what the bead turned out like. It's not super raised, it's not super flat, but it just puts a little bit of extra strength in the tub without compromising any of that width. So yeah, that's how to make a set of welded tubs, guys. I don't know how much easier I can make it. You can do everything with a grinder and a bit of cardboard. If you don't have a set of rollers, just use your knee, use a tyre, whatever you got. Pretty easy to make. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe because it does help our channel. And we'll see you next time on Backyard Builds.